Well, welcome back to the build. Where we left it last time was we just had these bars in place. They weren't welded or anything, but since then I've just tacked them at the front, cut them onto size and got them at the back so we can now have a nice shape of what this thing is going to look like. Today what we're going to work on is getting some of these side parts built up and start giving the top part some strength, which is still just a bit wobbly. And we've also got the rear wheel that's arrived as well in the post, so we're going to be looking at getting that fitted. That needs to go in the bottom part of the cart here, so we'll look to build a surround for this and then cut this part out and weld it in place, and then we'll see how much of that we get done today. Hopefully we get that done and then we can start working on the front portion of this, so how we're going to add the wheels, you know, and bits like that. So let's crack on today and let's get as much done as we can. Satisfying when it just fits together like Lego.
Beautiful. Just 5 more to go. Montage break. You'll like this. Hello. Hello, Papa. Told you be worth it. Anyway, back to it. So that's got our ribs in place now. Looking pretty sweet. It's got a real nice curve to the whole thing. I want to try and keep it just a bit of a natural flow. I try to avoid too many straight lines on this. It makes it building harder, but it should look significantly better by the end of it. So let's get them welded in place and then maybe start having a look at putting the rear wheel in. So that's got the ribs welded in. Now it's time to have a look at this section. So this tyre is what we need to get fitted. Obviously we've got this bar in the way, so it's gonna sit inside the chassis. Obviously not this high, but at ground height. So what we need to do is create a cutout underneath where this wheel is gonna sit here. So cut these bars out, but actually I don't want them flapping around. So we're gonna make a surround support that will go around the wheel
Potentially it's going to hold the axle, I'm not sure. I think I want the wheel quite high up in the chassis. So let's fabricate something that can go around this, mark it all up, get it cut out and weld it in. So rear tyre drops in here pretty nicely. Fits. It's not not too snug. There's plenty of room for the disc in there still. So the challenge comes where I don't want this piece flat like that. What I want to do is match this bottom curve here with, so the back of the wheel, I want to sit right in this sort of nook right in here, and then I want this still to have a nice curve to the bottom of the edge here, so the body doesn't just sort of come out flat and then there's 90 degree at the back of the wheel. So the aim is to replace this beam here, or replicate these bends here into both those parts on there. So that should just slot in and match those curves. Let's see if we can get that done, but it's going to be a challenge. I think the easiest thing to do is just cut this bar out. So obviously it faces that way in the cart, so call that the rear. What we want to do is match this bend here into these pieces. So let's see if we can work out how we're going to do that. First bend wasn't too shabby, it's looking alright. Misaligned, but near enough. Perfect on them first bends. So let's get this second bend here marked up and put into the tubes. So I made a complete hash of trying to get that second bend in. And the problem is I can because of this bend here and this one here, it won't fit into the bender to put this in. So I tried to do it off the vise because that's about the only way I could do it. It's just putting these horrible dents in and just looks a bit turd. So I'm just gonna tack it together as it is and then just leave it with this one curve, which I think will still look nice, you know, at the back here. And then we'll just sort out these tubes here, how we're gonna get it all to match and meet in nicely. So let's weld this together and then offer it up to the cart and see what it looks like. too bad. I think what we'll do is just use the angle grinder to take this back up a little bit, try and get this raised as much as we can, so we don't have to mess about these beams too much, try and get them to match straight in. And should be good at that. A bit of pain to get that bit in, but it's in nice and straight. Let's see. I think it's time to have a look at what it's going to look like with the wheel in. Oh, yes, that's pretty cool. That's perfect. So my worry on this kart is how much space we've got, but so I want the wheel to be as far back as I can here. But that looks like it's going to be sitting there. Pretty perfect. Real happy with that. Ah, amazing. Amazing. Oh, that's cool. It's starting to look like something now. Ah, that's wicked. I love it. Absolutely love it.